Hello, everybody. We're the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Enzo. This is my forever co-host, Jum, and today we continue our Masters of the Air talk. I'm sorry it's been a while, but we took a short break and we're 3 episodes late, but that's okay. You know, it is what is it. Uh, but yeah,
What?
I have you not seen that meme?
It is. What is it?
Yeah. uh,
Oh,
Some tea if I find it again. But yeah, going right into it, like we find out that things are not the best for the 100th Air Division. They really aren't. With the
God
Luftwaffe
no.
constantly not bothering them, just decimating them. Like, I don't remember this part of the war. I really don't. I could have sworn the Allies won in every capacity.
Yeah, right. Like they always had like that was their thing. They had the air advantage.
Yeah,
Um, I guess that wasn't really the case. I
yeah,
don't know. And like I always thought like they would have like an escort of like fighter planes to
yeah,
like make sure they don't get bombarded, but that's not the case.
yeah. I came later,
Um,
and you're like, how is that the solution years later? I thought you would think of something now, you know?
yeah, and yeah. Well, for fuck, what's his name? Bucky.
John
Which
Egan, the big.
Yeah, Egan.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sadly for Egan, he just finds out that he found out like last episode that the other Bucky didn't make it.
yeah,
He didn't come back, and yeah, so he goes into war. He goes into battle, kind of grieved, and holy shit, they get fucked
yeah.
again.
That shot of like I don't know how many Luftwaffe that was, but it's like, oh well, shit. This is not our day, is it, boys?
Yeah, and every like what did he call it again?
Hmm?
Like fort. Every fort like
Yeah,
just getting like shot down everywhere. Sure, there'll be a couple of shoots, but like you'll see one that's just burning and hits another plane. I'm like, okay,
yeah. They're not.
yeah,
I can't imagine any shoots with that plane at all.
yeah. And
Um,
we also get introduced to a new character, Rosie,
yeah,
and he seems to be a new, like, very significant character in this. Um, I think he just came in like last episode or this episode.
yeah. Like Rosie proves out to be the best, and he can fly a lot. He flies good.
He flies really fucking good.
Yeah,
Like this guy will be calling out and all that shit, and then he would like turn his plane to
yeah.
make sure that he got a good shot. I was like, God damn,
Ah,
who's
ah,
this guy? And like, I guess he has like that straight up philosophy. He was like let me take care of the flying, you guys take care of the crowds. And I'm like, right. I don't know
yeah.
if that's a derogatory term, but
I'm not sure either, but like, I do the scenes of carnage with inside the plane where one guy gets blasted and he half his face is gone, and the guy's like, "I'm trying to revive him." Like, I don't think you're reviving shit with that guy.
yeah, his
Sorry.
like his brain's like peeking out.
Yeah,
Like it's just horrible, especially the guy like. Remember that one guy? He's like all like happy and shit. And he like takes a piss and like throws it out a window, and he goes into the worst fucking seat in the plane, which is like the fucking bottom,
yeah.
and then the man just gets absolutely fucked.
His leg gets fucked. You're like, gee, well,
Yeah,
you're not walking for any time soon. And like when they're
yeah,
going down, he's like, "I can make it." You're like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you can make
and
it?"
yeah,
Yeah,
that's also one thing like you gotta keep in mind. It's like sure, you getting shot up and like you get hit. You're lucky that hey, it's just a shrapnel in your leg, and you're like, fuck.
yeah,
Well, then your captain goes, "We gotta bail." I'm like, "That's not the only problem. Once you touch down, let's say you make the bail, you kind of have to traverse through enemy territory with
right.
an injury." So I was like,
I
"It's just
do.
not good."
I do love the fact that since this is based on true stories, that there's no plot armor for anyone. Like we saw that with Buck, and now we see that with Bucky, where he goes down, and you're like, "So no one's safe," and then you remind yourself, like, "Yeah, this is based on true events," and you're like, "I guess I appreciate that," but at the same time, you're like, "I don't want anyone to die anymore." I don't know, like
Yeah,
when,
especially like that one guy, Bubbles.
yeah, you're like, "Fuck, Bubbles went down." Jesus Christ! I had one scene when the entire 100 doesn't come back, and the boy's like, "Where's our guys, sir? What happened to them?" He's like, what
No, the
boys?"
mater. No, the mater.
Yeah.
And then only one comes back, and it's like Rosie's, and I was like, yeah, he was one hell of a pilot.
Yeah. That's why.
And yeah,
I was say that's why all of them get R&R because the captain's like, you know what? You all deserve a break. You all deserve some downtime.
yeah, and like while they're being interrogated and all that, they're like, well, it's like, can you recall what happened to everybody? I was like, no. We're being shot up there. Of course, we're not going to be looking at the other fucking planes.
Yeah. Poor John Egan gets taken prisoner. And, like, he goes to the town which they just bomb. And the people obviously are like, let's fucking kill these Americans. And they do. And you're like, I can't blame you. Really can't.
Yeah. Like, I get it. Like, we are on completely different sides. And yes. But in the beginning of the episode 5, they did explain, like, we are going to be bombing a town with innocent women and children.
Yeah.
And, like, even them, they were like, he was like, women and children didn't shoot down Bucky.
Yeah.
And it kind of made, like, John Egan, like, think a bit. But he's like, a mission's a mission, so
yeah,
you just gotta do it.
It's like, Christ's sake, it's a war. What do you expect? You're like, oh, I see John Egan has gone completely just dead inside of, like, I don't fucking care anymore. He does get shot down and gets interrogated by some young SS officer. And you're like, is he gonna get beaten up? Is he gonna get hit again? And the guy's just like,
I was wondering where they were. Like, is that a prison camp? Why do they have every single detail about him? I was like, why do you know this?
And like when you go back to Crosby and Rosie, they're just like, Rosie's like, I want to get back. I can't. It's like a rhythm. I can't just stop. You don't just cry about it. You just go back to your job. And at the same time, you're like, that's not healthy.
Yeah, like when you hear him say this, maybe to some people they're like, yeah, just finish the job. I'm like, nah. Like,
yeah,
this is clearly where that mentality comes in.
Yeah,
like that affects the younger generation. You're like, yep, there it is.
Yeah,
like you don't cry about it. Deal with it. You get the job done.
And the doctor's like, man, you're new here and you just seen 200 of your comrades die in the air. Are you sure you're okay? The answer is no. Spoiler alert. But are you sure? It was also nice to see Crosby take a break since his best friend did die. He hooks up with some British spy officer. You're like, oh, that's nice.
Oh, is that what she is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why she doesn't say what she is.
Yeah. They have
Alright, that's cool.
Form a nice relationship, and like this episode, I think episode 6 is the episode where you have the half of the boys taking R&R, and then you have for John Egan being swapped place to place. He's like, I don't want to be here, but I can't do shit about it. My best friend just died.
There's one scene that just like kind of haunted me a bit was when they saw the Jews in the plane, in the train.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, this is why we're fighting Nazi Germany. Yeah, it sucks too because they're like, we can't do jack shit. Thankfully for John, he gets reunited with Buck. And you're like, oh, thank God, Austin Butler's alive.
Dude, I sort of got the build up to that when he was like, he's asking, was like, where's Clemens?
Yeah.
Like, have you seen Clemens? And people are not answering him. And then he just goes, John Egan, to your 2 o'clock. And you just hear that sweet, sexy voice of Austin Butler. I was like, thank fucking God.
Right? You're like, why? First it was
like this. Yeah.
First it was Barry Keoghan. Please don't let it be Austin Butler. I'm begging you.
Yeah, because like this show has shown us that it's very unforgiving.
Yeah.
It would kill off a lot of characters that like, hey, I kind of like him, dead. Yeah. Oh, I like him, dead. You know, and then once we just hear like Austin Butler's character Clemens just like die off screen, you're just like, I don't want to believe it, but then again, I won't be surprised if this show did that.
You're right. You're like, you bastards, how could you do this to me again? And like episode 7 is where you find out after Rosie's 25th mission, you're like, alright, you're clear to go home. Sadly for you, other boys, the brass has put it up to 30 missions, so
20 to 30.
yeah.
Like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, we're like, you're supposed to go home.
Yeah.
And like, even like in Rosie's first mission, there's that one guy who was like, it was his first time up there. He was like, you ain't gonna, no matter what you do, you ain't making me go back up there.
Yeah. Because again, you just saw all of your comrades not make it, and you're like, what the fuck is the point? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Are we even making a difference? But I do love the scene towards the end of that episode where Rose is like, nah, I'm re-enlisting. Sign me up. And you're just like, fuck.
I was like, that's cool. I like you. I'm glad I'm gonna see you for another couple of episodes, but my god, that gives you a higher chance of dying.
Right? I'm just like, please don't let this be a red flag. I don't wanna.
Dude, well, like the death flag here was fucking Clemens just going like, oh, I popped the question, and I wanted you to be the best man. I'm like, one of them's gonna die.
And then we go to the other side of the prison camp where they're just like praying to get a radio signal. And you're just like, oh, I guess this is life for the next few years. And then you find out that some British prisoners tried to escape. And like 50 of them were caught. Or like something out of a certain number were caught. And then 50 of them were executed. You're like, god damn, that's harsh. And the German guy's like, you obey our commands, don't even try to do this. Otherwise, the SS will come in and take over for us. And I do understand you have some Jewish comrades with you, and you're like, oh fuck, Jesus Christ.
I don't know what this fucking mind game was with like the German prison camp and this whole Great Escape scenario.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know what was up with the Germans here. They were just like straight up being cool with this shit. I was like, all right. I thought you had like a zero tolerance kind of thing, but all right.
Yeah, I guess the Luftwaffe are just like, you know what? We need to put more war effort to our front lines because we're losing at this point. I don't think we can spare sending the American Jewish prisoners to the death camps right now. Unless they're the SS, and the SS just doesn't give a shit of like, well, policy is policy. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, every time you see what happens next on the next episode, you're like, oh god, why? Why, God? I do like the fact that after this episode, we get a preview that we're getting the Tuskegee Airmen, who are the African American Corps pilots who flew during D-Day, and you're like, oh, cool. Now our Band of Brothers timeline is merging, and maybe we can celebrate this shared monumental universe.
Cinematic universe.
Exactly. But yeah, I do like the fact that they're bringing in the Tuskegee Airmen, because I always found that division so fascinating. Like, you're so celebrated in World War II, but when you come back home, segregation is still a thing, and you're like, ah, fuck, this is my reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, again, we don't really rate episodes, but again, this show has, no pun intended, it's not going down, you know? It's just going up and up.
So far, it's so good. Like, not a dull episode.
Yeah.
I will say. Like, even in their slower moments, it's still good. Yeah. Like, even the dialogue.
The R&R episode 2, there's a lot of great lines. And you're like, god damn, this show is pretty good.
Yeah. Like, even just the guy breaking down in the garden was a pretty powerful scene.
And yeah, again, I said this in the first episode, but like, I'm glad we have another great World War II series of this generation, the 2020s. Any other thoughts you want to say before we wrap this up? Okay. But yeah, that's been our video for Masters of the Air episode 5, 6, and 7. What do you guys think? How do you find the show so far? Who's your favorite character? Who are you rooting for not to die in this round? You know? There's just one more, because they also show what happens to the British spy. I'm like, oh god, why? Why does that? Wait, what? Did you not see the preview?
No, I skipped those.
Oh, no.
I just don't like being spoiled.
World War II is just a dangerous place, you know? Dangerous time. But yeah, if you like our videos, please leave them a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. And the video ends with one letterbox, and Zoe does voices on TikTok. Where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me at JomGM _ on Instagram. It is my ringtone.
And until the next video, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.